Lord is watching you. Now, how does that make you feel? How does it make you feel? Does it intimidate you? Does it cause you to feel uncomfortable? Or does it just sort of give you a warm feeling all over? God's eye is on me. It all depends, I guess, on what you are and what you are doing. If you are righteous, the eye of the Lord is upon the righteous, watching over them to protect, to keep, to help in the time of need. Why is God watching you? Because He loves you. You know, I think it's rather tragic that Satan has done such a thorough PR job on God, which is bad. He has caused people to believe that God only watches you in sort of an evil, penal way. He's watching for you to make a slip up. He's like a prison guard watching for you to try to make your escape. And the moment you do, he's going to cut you down with his Uzi, you know. God's watching you. Or like a police officer that has you under surveillance. The DA doesn't like you. He's out to get you. And so the police department has a surveillance team and they're watching you. And they're just waiting for you to make that mistake. And as soon as you do, down comes the heavy hand of the law, and the rest of your life you'll spend behind those bars in that cold room of solitude. And there are people who think of God watching them this way. They think that God has them under surveillance, that God is just waiting for them to make a mistake. God is just waiting for them to slip up, and then in comes the heavy hand of God, and you know, you're crushed to just nothing and that God is watching you in that kind of a heavy-handed way. That's not so. As God is watching you, He is watching over you.
I want to just assure you on this afternoon that He cares for you. I know He does care for all of us in general, but I want you to understand that the God that we serve, He has a personal relationship, a personal involvement, and whatever affects you, He has a personal concern.
1 Peter, the 5th chapter and the 7th verse, King James translation said, "Casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you." The Amplified translation, it translates it, casting all your cares, all your concerns, all your anxieties, all your worries. Boy, that takes them all in, don't it? Casting them once and for all. You do it one time upon Him. For He careth for you affectionately and about you watchfully.
Now, the amazing thing about the human conscience is this, that even if you don't believe what I'm saying, you believe what I'm saying. That even if you reject the truth of what I'm saying, there is rooted inside you a conviction which you can suppress with the years, but which is there nonetheless, which is telling you that these things are so. And this truth is the truth which the Scripture will not let us forget.
Do not fret or have any anxiety about anything, but in everything. In how many things? How many? everything, or all things, by prayer and supplication, let your request be made known unto God with thanksgiving.
God will take care of you. He will take care of you. And I hope somebody leave here this morning saying that whatever I'm going through, somehow or another, God will take care of somebody in here. You can testify right now. You can say, I've been through some stuff. I've experienced some stuff. But through it all, God did, and He continues to take care of me.
As God is watching you, He is watching over you, to be a protection for you from danger, to deliver you in your time of need, that He might be there to strengthen you in your hour of weakness. He watches you as a loving father watches over his child, to make sure that you are not threatened by some danger. I want God to keep His eye on me. I find that it's quite easy for me to get into trouble. Life is filled with difficulties, and it is a tremendous comfort for me to know that the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous. God's watching over me. I don't really have to fear, because He will protect and keep me. He declares His ears are open unto their cry. In verse 6, David said, this poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all of his troubles. It's a constant amazement to me that God listens to me. When I call upon Him, when I cry to Him, His ear is open unto my cry. That amazes me, because I realize that God has created this whole universe, that God is governing this whole universe. And the God who rules and governs over His universe listens to me when I call. I can't get over that. That always just sort of baffles me. I believe it, but I just have a hard time comprehending it. In fact, I don't comprehend it. I believe it, but I just can't comprehend that God would listen to me. Who am I that God should listen to me? My own family doesn't even listen to me all the time. Not in these personal, interpersonal, relational ways. Not as some essence or power, impersonal force that is way out in the universe someplace that can't be touched by me, or isn't conscious of my needs and is just that force or essence that is there. No, God is a person, and I can relate to Him in a personal way, and He will watch over me, and He will listen to me, and I can have this beautiful relationship with Him, and He will even speak to me. I can call on Him when I'm in trouble. I can bare my heart before Him. I can tell Him of my dilemmas, of my anxieties, of my needs. And so God is not only watching me, but He's listening to me.
Now, the amazing thing about the human conscience is this: that even if you don't believe what I'm saying, you believe what I'm saying. That even if you reject the truth of what I'm saying, there is rooted inside you a conviction which you can suppress with the years, but which is there nonetheless, which is telling you that these things are so. And this truth is the truth which the Scripture will not let us forget.
Lord is watching you. Now, how does that make you feel?